Chief Jamie Dupree joins Jim to talk about the fight in the new Congress. Plus rush hour traffic and your weather forecast every 6 minutes.
Hopefully I'll remember how to do this throughout the morning.
Join Jim Turner Monday morning, 5 to 9 on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Catch up on the top local and national stories. Updated on the hour, the half, and when news breaks out, we'll break in. News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it. Your emergency weather radio is News Talk AM 580 WDBO. The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Starting the year with an evacuation. It happened on New York's Long Island and started with a leaking propane gas tank at a shopping center.
Authorities came around early Saturday morning telling residents to leave their homes as quickly as possible. About 900 were evacuated due to a propane gas leak at a shopping center in the town of Shirley. A propane delivery driver discovered the leak in a 30,000-gallon tank near a department store.
ABC's Daria Albinger. Late word that ruptured tank has now been capped, but it's unclear when evacuated residents will be allowed to return to their homes. Murder in the hospital. Authorities in Montgomery County, Maryland say a man was stabbed to death inside Suburban Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland. Montgomery County Police spokeswoman Lucille Bauer.
They found a 40-year-old male employee of the hospital suffering from trauma to his upper body. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
The killing touched off a lockdown of the facility while police searched for the killer, who escaped. A New Year's tragedy in Redmond, Washington, outside Seattle. Fire in a 3-story apartment building killed 5 people, a grown man and 4 children, all under the age of 10. Redmond police officer Matt Peringer believes the fire to be accidental.
We're uncovering every stone, you could say, and making sure that we get all those answers. But at this point, there's nothing to indicate that it's suspicious.
The mother of the 4 kids is hospitalized in stable condition. A scare in the nation's capital when a U.S. Air Express turboprop on a flight from Hilton Head, South Carolina to Washington, D.C. strayed into restricted airspace and lost radio contact.
The Capitol and all Senate and House office buildings were evacuated. F-16 fighter jets scrambled. But 15 minutes later, communications were restored, and the plane landed at Reagan National Airport without incident.
ABC's Taman Bradley in Washington. You're listening to ABC News.
Now, a WDBO news update from Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Orlando temperature is 73 degrees. I'm Eric Rasmussen. Our top local stories at this hour. About 60,000 fans started making their way out of the Citrus Bowl in the last hour. They watched Alabama win big over Michigan State in the Capital One Bowl 49-7. Last year, Orlando got something of a black eye on the national stage when the field was torn apart in wet and muddy conditions. This year, the new artificial turf was a success. We'll have more football coverage, including the Florida-Penn State game at the Outback Bowl tonight at 6. We're still getting more information about a possible drowning near UCF. According to the university, a young man jumped into one of 2 pools at the Pegasus Landing Apartments this afternoon. But moments later, his friends said he stopped breathing. Emergency crews say he didn't have a pulse when they arrived, but he was rushed to Florida Hospital East and later Florida Hospital South. A man from Ormond Beach now faces murder charges after police say he shot and killed a man in the parking lot at a Volusia County nightclub. Eyewitnesses say Christian Pursley shot at a car carrying his ex-wife and a male companion at the Rocket Ranch nightclub around 2 this morning. Police say Pursley then barricaded himself in a home, but later surrendered after a lengthy standoff. We're still waiting on the name of the victim. Orlando police say they made 19 arrests during last night's New Year's celebrations downtown, but there were apparently no major incidents. Tens of thousands of people packed into downtown Orlando for street parties and a chance to see the annual Orange Drop at midnight. It turns out a pet python that killed a toddler in Sumter County last year hadn't been fed in a month. We first reported when a Burmese python strangled Shayuna Hare while she was in her crib. A new report says the snake was underweight and had escaped its tank 10 times before that attack. For more on these stories and the important local news of the day, watch Channel 9 Eyewitness News tonight at 6. It's now 4 minutes after the hour. Traffic and weather are next.
When severe weather gets bad, we break in with severe weather coverage to keep you safe, secure, and informed. Severe weather updates are heard on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
With me now is Bill Hull. He is the GM over at Massey Cadillac. And Billy, tell us more about the season's best.
Hey, Scott, it is that time of year, and we have some great lease deals for the holiday season, including the 2011 CTS Sports Sedan or the hot new CTS Coupe. Your pick, just $299 a month for only 27 months.
Yeah, and Billy, I saw the 2011 SRX leasing for $339 a month for 27 months. And every 2011 Cadillac comes with the new Cadillac Premium No-Cost Maintenance Program, which covers just about everything, including oil changes.
And right now, our used car business is so great, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. All makes, all models, low mileage or high mileage. We'll give you a check right there on the spot. Go to our website, MasseyCadillac.com, and click on the Auto Trader link for a quote.
And as usual, same great deals, both locations, 2 miles north of Colonial on John Young or just south of the Florida Mall on OBT, and always online at MasseyCadillac.com. See Bill Hull for more details and lease qualifications.
Good afternoon, it's 5:05 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Paul Barnett.
I-4 westbound from State Road 408 to the Turnpike. Expect 20 minutes of travel time due to heavy congestion. Accident with lane blockage on T.G. Lee Boulevard at Cimarron. OPD's on scene there. And another accident with unknown lane blockage on Apopka Vineland Road at Balboa. FHP's now on scene. This report's brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. This New Year's, the big parties and games start with big savings at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Save even more with great coupon offers at abcwinecountry.com. Please enjoy responsibly. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
A partly cloudy sky in the forecast overnight. The wind will settle down. That'll let some areas of fog develop, so some patchy fog when you wake up tomorrow morning. Lows in the mid to upper 50s. Clouds increase tomorrow afternoon. Should stay dry and warm, though, with highs in the upper 70s. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO, I'm meteorologist Brian Monahan.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar continues to show no rain across Central Florida. It is 70 degrees in Castleberry and 72 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of AM 580 WDBO. The Pool Fanatics are on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Brought to you each week by your host, Tony Caruso, and his company, TC Water Features. If you have questions about pool maintenance or have been thinking about adding a pool, spa area, or waterfall, you need to call now at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Now, the Pool Fanatics.
Hey, welcome to the Pool Fanatics. We are live on this 1-1-1-1. This is the first day of a brand new year, and maybe your resolution is to get a pool this year. Maybe your resolution is to get a spa this year. Maybe your resolution, and Tony touched on an interesting subject in our pre-show meeting, and that was, you know, we as homeowners and we as just about everything owners have neglected some things around our houses in the last few years. The economy turned kind of south, and maybe last year, maybe the year before, maybe you didn't buy that new pump for your pool or a new motor, or maybe you just let things go around your spa. Maybe you caused some damage by not taking care of things that could have been done proactively, preventive maintenance, so to speak. We're going to talk about that a little bit, things you might want to put on your agenda for this year and get done. Also, we're going to talk about your pool. What's it doing? How did you come through the freezes? Okay? And for those of you that didn't listen to Tony's advice and just go ahead and turn off the breaker and walk away, you suffered some major damage in this last week or 2 weeks. So we'll talk about that too. But more importantly, we're live and we're taking your calls at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. It's a Pool Fanatics. Anything pool, anything fountains. We're going to talk about it today. But Tony, take us back. You had a busy holiday season. I don't mean shopping. You had people you had to save. People didn't listen to you.
You know, first off, Happy New Year. I
Happy
like
New Year,
the 1-1-1-1-1. I guess that's
Yeah,
good.
it's all
That
ones,
doesn't make
huh?
history, but so often, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was a busy last 2 weeks, actually, before Christmas. You know, we have never, in my 29-plus years of being in the pool industry, ever been slow during the holiday season. A lot of my suppliers want to shut down. A lot of my subs want to take some vacation time. I've never been that lucky to take off the time. I just haven't been there. It's just been one thing after another. You know, a lot of the meetings that I did this past year were all deferred to January. So starting Monday, it's go, 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 believe it or not. So we never did slow down. You know, we had at least 6 or 7 days in the last 2 weeks where the weather was very cold.
Yes.
You told me you had hit temperatures up in your place below 20.
We hit some 18s up
Yeah, well, you know, you're part of the pool people up there, too. There's more than one pool up in your neighborhood, I promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so a lot of damage was happened. Some people didn't heed the caution about either running their pump, which I don't prefer, or shutting their pump off. And, you know, a lot of pool pumps don't come on to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're already frozen. So, yeah, a lot of broken lines, a lot of motors, big motor week last week, big time motors. Motors just froze. When the motors are cold, the seals contract, and when they try to start, they try to expand, and they leak. And therefore, the bearings go out in the motor. So a lot of windy motors, very whiny motors last week and the week before. So something that we were pretty proud of last week and the week before, we saved customers over $6,000 in energy bills by putting on, remember, the correct motor on your pool pump. What's really good about that, again, Rob, is most of these motor changeouts pay for themselves in 6 to 8 months.
So let's talk about that. Energy audits that your company will do at somebody's pool to show them how they can save money.
Takes me all of about 45 seconds. Got a form sheet. It's just a little sheet that we do. All we need to know is your power company. If you're Progress, OUC, Florida Power, KUA, wherever you're at, just tell us, show us your power. I know most of what the rates are, the kilowatts you're paying for with taxes out the door. So don't look at the kilowatt. You got to look at everything. Your bill is the bill. You know, the taxes and all the stuff that go with it are the bill. You know, you divide that into your kilowatts, and that's going to give you your cost per kilowatt to run. So big savings the last couple of weeks. So about $6,000. That's a good thing. So most customers are going to enjoy about $600 a year in energy savings. That's huge, $600 a year, and that's just an average. We've got some we can save over $1,000 a year on.
Well, that's amazing. So it pays for the conversion to the new pump or the new motor very quickly.
2011, we have the energy code goes in effect this year. You know, we'll talk about it about the end of February. We'll go down the list of everything that's going into effect this year, when it goes in effect, and how it impacts you. The biggest thing is going to be is the motor change out. That's number one. Any pump 1 horsepower or greater shall be 2-speed, and default speed shall be less than half the whole speed. So, for instance, if it's a 1 horse, it has to default less than half speed, which is half horse. In this case, somewhere around 1/3 to 7/16 of a horse, somewhere in that neighborhood. So that's the law. There's nothing to do about that. So if your motor goes out, please consider putting in the correct motor, number one, or definitely in the 2-speed, because a lot of times in a half horsepower straightened motor, the amperage is greater than if you bought a 1 horse 2-speed.
Oh,
did that make sense?
Okay,
let's do it this way. If I put a straight half horsepower motor in for you, it's going to pull 9.6 amps. If I put in a 1 horse 2-speed in low speed, it only pulls 4.2 amps. That's over 60% less energy. What's 60% equate to? It's a 60% reduction in your energy cost. You're going to get the proper water flow that you want. A couple of that change outs I did last week had spas. I said the only time you need high speed is in spa mode. You don't have solar. You don't have DE filter. You don't have heat pump. So therefore, you do not need a high head motor. So,
and I would think that a 1 horsepower 2-speed would have a lot longer life expectancy, because I equate it to maybe a car engine. If you've got yourself a little 4-cylinder, hamster in there in your engine compartment, and you're trying to go 65 on I-4, it's running at full speed. It's doing all it can. You get yourself a nice V8, and like I have in my Lincoln, I mean, it doesn't even work up a sweat.
No, it doesn't work up a sweat. But here's what's cool about a pool pump motor. It's a continuous duty motor.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to shut off. It'd be better off if you didn't shut it off. It's to start and stop, and just like your car. If you could start your car up and had, we could maybe put some water in it for gas, that'd be our hydrogen value of our energy. We could never shut it off. They're made to run nonstop, by the way. They're continuous duty motors. So what hampers a motor, there's a few things that hamper a motor. And we all live in Florida, and we all have eaves that overhang our houses. And guess what's under the eave? The motor. So guess what drips on the motor all the time?
Oh,
water.
boy.
So some of the biggest problems I find with pump motors today are the following. One, landscaping has grown up around the motor where the water, when it runs off the yard, it runs back into the motor and it holds water.
Ooh.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is when they pine bark or mulch or rock around the motor, they put too much around it, and therefore it holds moisture, rots out the bottom of the motor, shortens the life of the motor. Three, the rain drips on the motor. What's that doing? All it's doing is just add more water to it. So all those things in turn, will wear a motor out a lot quicker. It's designed to run nonstop, but we don't help the situation. So motors are have short lives because we don't pay attention. For about $30, you can buy a motor cover, and that'll stop the rainwater from dropping on it and save that motor considerably. But I can't.
Smart.
Yeah, but I can't stop you from or tell you enough that if you don't have positive drainage around your equipment, it's going to hold water. Bottom of the motor is going to rust out. It's going to eat the motor up. You're going to be replacing it.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are going to have to be replacing some pipes, some motors, some pumps, and everything from last week's freezes.
Already doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already happened. Here's what you can't have. Insurance will not pay for negligence. If for some reason your pool pump came on because you didn't take precaution to protect it while you went to work, it thawed out for whatever reason, the line burst. It just popped the top of the pump, the line off the top of the pump, and it's now discharging 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 gallons a minute, depending on your pump. Now, all of a sudden, if you're doing 100 gallons, that's 6,000 gallons an hour, and in 10 hours, that's 60,000. Your pool's dry, and it could pop out of the ground. Insurance won't pay for that, by the way. Insurance will not pay for negligence. So knowing the proper precaution, either run it or don't run it. If you're going to run it, make sure you run it before it freezes, which I don't recommend, by the way, or protect it before it freezes. Hey, I just went and shut mine off. I mean, my pool didn't run for 3 days. It looks wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
My fountain didn't run for 3 days. It looks wonderful. Nothing's going to grow in it. And I saved, my pool pumps run me about $17 a month, so I saved a couple bucks, not even $1 a day, probably a little less than $1 a day it cost me to run my pool pump.
But you saved also not having to replace a bunch of equipment that would have busted.
Yeah.
If you'd have run it.
Yeah.
All right, the numbers to call are 407-290-0058, 800-329-5858. That's 800-329-5858. For those that didn't hear us on the week before Christmas, give us the protocol and the procedures for, we ain't out of the woods yet on this cold. It's going to do it again in about a week. So what do they need to do specifically to just shut everything down?
I like the simple thing. Just go out. Your breaker's marked. It's required to be marked by code. If it's older, hopefully you know where that breaker is in your panel. Just turn the breaker off. Just walk away from it and be done with it. Again, 3 days, you're not going to hurt anything. We very, very rarely are going to get freezes going to last greater than this 3-day deal last time.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty rare that we had temperatures consistently in 20s here in Orlando.
When they just turn it off, will the water that's in pipes just drain out someplace?
Well, if there's any kind of leak in the system, of course, in the basket, the O-rings, it'll just drain back. But it's not going to hurt anything. If you want to be safe, pull the breaker. Don't start to pump up till you get back from work the next day. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, pretty much tell you it's not going to be frozen at that point.
You just don't want a pressurized system sitting there.
No, it's going to unpressurize. Once you turn the breaker off, the pressure's going to relieve itself down, and it's going to go back to static level and not be under pressure. So shut it down. Walk away from a couple days. If the pool gets a little trash from the winds. Now, we had some high winds, too.
Yeah.
Now, that's another thing.
Yeah, we did.
The unscreened pools, they got leafy debris in them. My personal pool did. It's no big deal. Got there, netted it out. And, again, I didn't have to worry about it. My pool was not going to grow any algae in 3 days. Nothing's really much going to grow below 59 degrees except black algae. And your chlorine generators were not working below 59 degrees. So all the people that had chlorine generators, and they weren't generating chlorine anyway. They're just shutting down because it's just too cold to make chlorine. And chlorine's not going to be effective anyway, not at that temperature.
Oftentimes, Tony finds himself in the position of being called in after the fact, after somebody's already had a pool built by somebody else or had shoddy workmanship or something's happened like that. And then you call Tony and you say, well, I've been hearing you on the radio. I've heard you got the best reputation in town. Now, can you help me? You know what? He is kind enough to come in and save people. Also, if you're shopping for a pool, have the knowledge, because this is a very big investment, to shop apples to apples. So if you've got a quote from a company, it's not going to hurt you in the least little bit to call Tony and ask for him to come out with his company and say, look over my bid and see what I'm not seeing, because, you know, you and I don't buy pools every day. All right? Tony's going to tell you about comparison shopping and tell you about some of the horror stories he has found around town that he has actually helped fix. All that coming up, plus your calls at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. You're a pool fanatic. I'm a pool fanatic. He's a pool fanatic. Right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Snowmageddon here in D.C.
Play all the tapes.
Sticking accelerator pedals.
It was February
Miss Virginia Caressa Cameron.
2010.
The citizens of Austin, Texas.
Liftoff of Shuttle Endeavour.
In 2011, time flies.
The most transparent White House.
Here.
Should not try these people in New York.
News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
One magical night, 60 musicians, one stage, all the hits. Barry Manilow, live with the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra. January 20th at Amway Center. All the magic, all the hits. Barry Manilow, like you've never seen him before. Tickets now at the box office and Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, would you drink your pool water? Sure, it's a crazy question, but the answer could be yes if you have the patented, amazing ionization system from Clearwater Technologies in your home or community pool. It's true. Pools that use the Clearwater ionization system sparkle with a water quality that exceeds the EPA standards for drinking water. Oh, and the benefits don't stop there. There's no need for chlorine in your pool ever again. That's right, no more allergic reactions, no harmful chemicals that can be absorbed into your skin. Oh, and here's the best part, more money in your pocket. Log on to poolschlorinefree.com and find out how your pool can become a mineral bath with copper and silver ions naturally. That website again is poolschlorinefree.com. That's poolschlorinefree.com. And kiss chlorine goodbye forever.
Musicians, the best thing about the holidays just may be the leftovers at Guitar Center. It's Guitar Center's clearance event. Juicy, tempting discounts on overstocked inventory with price drops to satisfy your craving for saving. Succulent savings on demos, closeouts, warehouse finds, and more. All tagged and priced to move. First come, first served deals on surplus gear from top brands like Fender, Marshall, Line 6, Pearl, Yamaha, and more. Guitar Center's clearance kicks off now. Save huge while supplies last. Open New Year's Day.
If you want to save thousands on a new Honda and get $3,500 minimum for your trade, get here by New Year's. Announcing the Courtesy Honda year-end sales event. Auto manufacturers will give Courtesy huge incentives for every vehicle they deliver by January 3rd. So if you get to Courtesy Honda by New Year's, you can save thousands of dollars on hundreds of Hondas. Shop all your favorite models, Accords, Civics, Fits, Odysseys, CRVs, and more. All with thousands in savings. Plus, get $3,500 minimum for your trade. When our year-end incentives expire, so does your chance to save thousands on new Hondas. Hurry to Courtesy Honda on Reinhardt Road, just south of the Seminole Town Center Mall, to save thousands on new Hondas and get $3,500 minimum for your trade. Get here by New Year's. CourtesyHonda.com.
Clark Howard.
If you don't understand what it is you're thinking of buying, don't buy it.
Weekdays from 1 to 3, only on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Hey, we're back. Pool Fanatics, everyone. And it's a brand new year, 2011. Is this your year to redo that old pool that's sitting out back? Is this your year to add a pool to your backyard? Or is this the year that you put that beautiful water feature in there? You know, there were so many people. I got a kick out of this, Tony, that everybody was going to YouTube and everybody was going nuts looking at these Christmas displays on houses that the lights turned and, the computers made all this going on. And I was talking to this couple and I said, well, that's really interesting, but you could have that with water in your backyard or your front yard anytime you want it, not just 2 weeks out of the year. I said, Tony's got the capacity to do that, and it doesn't have to be Christmas time.
No, because we can do, remember, you can do, on Christmas lights, you can do light and music, right?
Yeah.
Swimming pool, we can do light, water, and music. So maybe we go ahead and tune it up to where we can, let's see here, tune it to your radio. When all your company comes over, they can pull up in the front yard, tune in the radio, and watch your water show in the backyard. What do you think?
There you go.
Hey, the technology's there. It really is.
What is that Tony Caruso says? Amazing
things can happen in your backyard.
There you go, ladies and gents. There you got it from the guy himself. 407-290-0058, 800-329-5858. Don't want to mention any specific cases, but you've told me more than once off the air that Tony Caruso and your company, Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features, is a very good friend to have, especially when you want to build a pool and get it done right. But an even better friend if somebody has had somebody else build their pool and all of a sudden they go, uh-oh, I got a problem. You're going to be a nice guy, and you're not going to tell them they made a mistake. You're going to fix it.
Yeah. It's really sad that, first of all, let's do this. There's some wonderful pool builders in Central Florida.
Yes, sir.
Hands down.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful place, wonderful pool builders that do a great job. What's happened over the downturn is people have cut. If you're going to get an $18,000 pool, you're going to get services cut. Sorry, that's the way it is. You are not going to get what you got for $30,000 last year or 2 years ago. They're cutting services. When they cut services, they cut warranties. When they cut warranties, they're cutting everything else in between. So one of the stories is I got a phone call a couple weeks ago, and I went out and looked at a pool that the interior finish failed after about 18 months.
And this was not a pool you had done?
No, I didn't do it.
Somebody else did it?
Somebody else did it, and they offered a 1-year workmanship warranty, and they offered a 10-year material warranty. I have a major issue with the 1-year interior finish warranty. There's no way this finish should fail in 18 months. But there was a lot of things that went wrong that particular day, and it was documented of why it did what it did. So I wasn't happy. And I had done business with the supplier for many, many years, a very reputable company here in town. They're a distributor here in town. They distribute their products worldwide. I had called my rep and said, hey, man, I just think that this is not a very good deal where you put a 10-year warranty on this product. Now, you can't determine or tell the applicator what their warranty needs to be, but I felt a 1-year warranty on an interior application was not acceptable. But by the way, that's where I get blown out of the water because people do only offer a 1-year warranty. I'm finding out the majority of the guys doing interior finishes aren't doing a 5-year lifetime warranty. They're doing a 1 year. They'd probably get away with, as soon as it comes out of the bag, they'd be good with that. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I called him up. He called the owner of the company. It took a little while for him to get back, but at the end of the day, he got a call last week. They're going to go out, and they're going to resurface this man's pool. The supplier is going to supply the material for free, and the applicator is going to go back at a very reduced rate and resurface this man's pool.
And again, you had nothing to do with the original job. You're just trying to help this guy out.
I'm just trying to help him out because you know what? Right is right. Go back to my website, read some of my testimonials, but go to the back page and read the entire testimony. I got a couple of them in there where people had hired a builder, the builder defunct on the deal, took their money and ran. Where I'd go in there I get nothing out of this. It's not about press. It's not about write-ups. It's about what's right. Well, I went out and finished a guy's pool. He had paid 98% of his contract money, 98% of his contract money by the time the deck was poured. 98%. We went in there and we got it taken care of. I hooked him up with I found the suppliers. I found the deck guy. And I used my Armstrong aluminum. I used Magic Marsite. I used my deck crew. Did it all for cost or below to go in and finish these pools. Mm-hmm. Now, I got nothing out of it, but I did. And I'll tell you what, I'm very good at this. If you make a mistake, I'm going to tell you, don't you ever make that mistake again, because I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be here next time. Maybe something different happens, and it's another case that I can't always do this. I can do this when I'm able to do it. I have access to the people that I can do it. And when I can do it and I pull it off, what a wonderful feeling.
Let's look at phone numbers and websites, because I also want realtors to know that if they are starting to list a house and that pool in that house is the reason it's not selling because it's green, or because the screen's all torn, or because the pump hasn't been running a year, you can help the realtor get this thing back up to snuff, and we can move that house and get our economy moving in Central Florida. So websites and phone numbers in 1 minute.
OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. You can reach us at 407-282-4911. That's 407-282-4911. Amazing things can happen in your backyard. Hey, Robin, remember your front yard, too.
All right, now you homeowners associations and those of you in the real estate business trying to keep those pools up so that house will sell, whatever, get a hold of Tony this week and get this thing moving. We're taking calls at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Pool Fanatics right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
No other station has airborne coverage of traffic. Only News Talk AM 580 WDBO. The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
Word is that what caused an airliner to stray into restricted airspace earlier today in Washington, D.C., leading to the brief evacuation of the Capitol building, was the pilot accidentally turning his radio to the wrong frequency, causing the plane to lose radio contact. U.S. Air Express flight was headed from South Carolina to Washington. Fighter jets were scrambled. A manhunt's underway in Maryland. Police looking for someone who killed a 40-year-old man, an employee at a Bethesda hospital today. Montgomery County Police spokesperson Lucille Bowers says after a 4-hour lockdown, they think the hospital's safe.
After a thorough search of the hospital and the premises, it is believed that there is no reason for concern on the part of staff, patients, or visitors to the hospital.
Total deaths from yesterday's tornadoes in the central and southern U.S. is now up to 7. A woman died today. Dozens of others were hurt. Clarksville police in Tennessee say a man impersonating a police officer pulled over the wrong person, an off-duty, real police officer. The fake cop has posted bail. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
First thing tomorrow morning when you wake up, get team coverage of the day's top local stories. News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it. AM 580 WDBO's Clark Howard.
Good news on the housing front. One thing I want you to know that has been a real problem for the last 18 months is getting a mortgage from anybody else other than the FHA if you don't have substantial down payment. Well, now the private mortgage market has regained enough confidence that it's possible that you can find a mortgage with a down payment of 5% and not go the FHA route. Why do I want you not to go the FHA route? Nothing wrong with the FHA, it's just there's lots of fees to go that direction. Second thing, for the first time since the housing bust started, homes are worth more on average around the country now than they were a year ago. Not everywhere, but it's a key sign that the housing market is scraping the bottom and is poised to start a slow, long recovery back to health.
This has been a lesson in Clarkonomics. Hear Clark weekdays from 1 to 3 right after Neil Bortz on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
Good afternoon, it's 5:32 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network. Here's Paul Barnett.
I-4 westbound from Colonial Drive to the Turnpike. Expect 25 minutes of travel time due to heavy congestion there. An accident with unknown lane blockage still on Apopka Island Road at Balboa. FHP's on scene. This report's brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. To make the New Year special, make ABC Fine Wine and Spirits your first stop. Count on guaranteed low prices and get money-saving coupons at abcwinecountry.com. Please enjoy responsibly. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
A mixture of starlight, also some clouds overnight tonight. We'll see some patchy fog develop near daybreak, also some haze and smoke in the air as well as we drop back into the mid to upper 50s, upper 70s tomorrow afternoon with increasing clouds during the second half of the day. From Severe Weather Center 9 and WDBO, I'm meteorologist Brian Monahan.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows a light shower now just to the west of Bithlo. Other than that, things are looking good throughout Central Florida this afternoon. It's 72 in Tuscaloosa and 71 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
When it matters most, remember News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it. Information on demand. Set the first button on your radio to News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Hey, we're back. We are Pool Fanatics, and you know everybody in 2010, almost everybody anyway, discovered Facebook, Twitter, and all that. Well, the Pool Fanatics are pretty Facebook, Twittering type people at that, and Tony just happens to have an incoming family member who is right on top of all the technology and all that stuff. She ought to appear on our Tech Talk tomorrow. You know, she'd love that guy, those guys. I mean, they would all talk the same language. They come in and talk about computers, and I'm sitting over here going, what?
Yeah. My future daughter-in-law, Donna, she does our Facebook and she does our Twitter account. And she does a wonderful job.
She's like an IT specialist, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, she's a paid employee, though. Think about that, too. So you do a lot when you get paid for it. But
well,
no,
yeah.
I'm only teasing about that. I mean, she does a great job. You know, we've got, for all the people that follow us on Facebook and Twitter, we have 3 promotions that we're running through. They actually started today, and they're going to run through February 28th. Well, it's leap year, February 28th, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, 28th. That's right. We have almost 2 full months this year that we can do this promotion. So, and we're going to do some more. We're going to go out there with everybody else. It's going to offer some nice specials. And we have some pretty cool stuff we're working with. And all of it is green technology, by the way. It's all about how if you're going to renovate your pool, we're going to use some incentives to help add into that, you know, cost savings and energy savings on your pool, because this is the energy year, by the way. And let's don't get confused about the pool pump that has to be a 2-speed. If you have a waterfall pump or fountain pump, it still can be a single speed, by the way. You know, so you're not going to be stuck to, well, I got to put a 2-speed waterfall pump on. Well, it's not going to work in low speed. Well, you know what? You're not going to be required to. It's only for the primary filtration pump that this motor comes in, which, by the way, Rob, is about 85% of all the pools here in the state are primary filtration pumps. There's very few secondary spa jet pumps or waterfall pumps. So, but they're out there. So the biggest thing as incentives is to get your pool up into the energy technology for sure.
So to find these specials, people have got to follow you on Facebook or Twitter. And how do they find that?
Nick, tell me how we find me on Facebook and Twitter. How you go?
Grab that microphone there, Mr.
Guy.
Producer Time.
Well, Twitter, I don't actually know because I might be the only person besides Rob that doesn't have one. So Facebook, you just go to Facebook, and in the top in the middle, you'll see a search bar. You just type in TC Water Features, and it will pop up. And then you hit like or friend. I can't remember which one it is because I did this a couple weeks ago. Simple as that. Couple of words. And also, while you're doing it, add WDBO. Search for them as well.
There you go. And we're kind of linked back and forth between Orlando Luxury Pools, WDBO. If you go in there, I have a little profile. One day we'll put a picture of my mug on the line right there so everybody can kind of see what I look like. I'm one of the few that don't have a picture on it. I don't photograph very well, so you know, there's no picture of me on that.
No need to go to Nick's Facebook page.
Yeah.
There's just no need at all.
But just think about this. If you follow our promotions and say you found us on Facebook or Twitter, you're entitled to these. You can go after these promotions here. Remember, amazing things can happen in your backyard. But if you don't start today, you know, you've got to think about when you're going to start and when you're going to try to accomplish this. Now, it's been, you know, the attitude going into 2011. Boy, that's a big one. 2011, man. 2011 is the attitudes are better. You talk to a lot of people. They're really looking forward to this new year, which is already here, by the way. Hopefully tomorrow or when tomorrow. I think I'm enjoying this. This extra day is kind of getting to me, Rob. I'm thinking today's Sunday, but I wouldn't be here.
I have no idea what day it is. Yeah. It's getting so confusing with all these holidays.
But that's okay. I'm enjoying them. You know, it's the last one again until we get into May. Where we'll go into a baseball tournament for the holiday then.
But like you say, this is very interesting because everybody you talk to seems to be saying 2010 was a transition year.
Yeah.
They learned that you don't need a Rolex, you don't need a BMW, you don't need to have all of the fancy schmancy stuff in the world. You're spending more time at your home, you're spending more time on home entertainment, more time on pools, backyards, furnishings, decks, and we're kind of coming back to families, which is kind of neat. So that leads to the discussion that you had with me right before we went on. How much have we neglected in our backyards and front yards over the past 2 years, 3 years? Larry Perry talks about it on Magic Mechanic. A number of our experts do that. Some of our Windows guys early in the morning with Kirk Healy, they talk about the fact that, we got so crazy spending money, then we got so crazy not having any money that we just let some of these things go. Now's the time to get the pool up where it needs to be, get the backyard where it needs to be, and boy, by late spring and summer, it's all going to seem so worth it.
Yeah, think about this, Rob. I mean, I know a lot of people that I talked to spent 2010 figuring out how in the heck they're going to survive.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? What do they got to do? How are they going to, one, pay their first off, how are they going to eat? How are they going to pay their bills, pay their mortgage, keep their house? Then we all went in what's called protect mode. I know we did.
Sure.
I talked to a lot of people. Said, look, I want to do all this next year. Okay, well let's learn today what we need to learn. We've made it to next year. Next year's already here, so we're ready to go at it. We're looking to be very busy again this starting off. Now think about this. Since we went through 2010 doing a better job, we organized our lives a little bit better. We spent less money. We've just done a better job at life in general. We have. So now it's time to stretch out because 2011 is a brand new year. We're moving on. Unemployment claims are down. The home sales are starting to pick back up again. I see some development going through town. Renovate your pool. Think about this. Some of these pools that I renovate take 5-6 months. So I'm not saying do not. Try not to call in April and want to swim in May and you want to do an interior tile deck and a whole bunch of good stuff. Think about backing yourself up in time. That's where we come in. We'll come in. We'll sit down with you. We'll talk about what you want to do, how long it's going to take to do that.
And so many of us have already changed our shopping habits. We're looking at labels. We're looking at buying, 4 cans for $1. We're getting a lot better than that than we used to be. So if somebody comes to you with the opportunity and says, you have a pool, you want to continue to use your pool, well, here's a way I'm going to save your electricity by putting in the right pump and doing the right thing with an energy audit that takes less than a minute. Why won't they do that? I mean, it just seems like, okay, we're doing it at the grocery store. We're all going down to lesser gas grades because gas is going out of sight. So let's do it and get our pools where they should be.
Well, Rob, unfortunately, we're not talking to 174,000 pool owners in the 4 counties here that have pools that are 10 years old or older. We're only talking to, 15, 20, 30,000 on any given day on the radio. So we're not getting all of them. So we're getting out there. So the cool thing about this is it's like wildfire. I come out and do a job for Rob. Rob's happy with it. You're a free referral. You're going to be glad that next time when someone says something about a pool, you got to call my buddy Tony over at TC Water Features. He's going to take care of you. You're a free referral. And we pride ourselves on going in and doing that job for you because you are a free referral. I have no bad publicity about my business. Now, I do have an A+ business rating with the BBB. Take it for what it is. I worked hard to get that A+. There's a lot of companies out there that have an A+. I'm not really sure why they do, but they do. But I've earned mine. There are 0 complaints against my business. 0. I've been a member since '89. I have 0. 21 years that I've been doing this, I've never had a complaint against my business, and I'm proud of that. I'm honored to have that notoriety that says that I take care of my customers. Now, I can't make them all happy, Rob. Let's be honest. I can't please every customer I do.
You really tried with Nick's pool. I got to hand it to you. You tried everything you could, but that inflatable Kmart pool that Nick bought last summer, that's about 6 feet round and only a foot deep, you just couldn't expand it. Well, I know you tried.
Rob, he kept using it as a water hazard. He was wearing his golf spikes there. He kept poking holes in it, so we can't keep on putting Band-Aids on a rubber band, And
and you can't put a fountain in it either. I just don't know why you couldn't have done that for the poor kid.
Well, he didn't like the straws we were providing him, So there's a lot of things that we can do out there, but you got to think about this. If you have a birthday, a special day, or on or about time where you want to refurb the pool and have it ready for you, you have to back your time up. I'm telling you, January is primary month for renovation. January, February is primary months for renovations. New constructions, February, March, have you swimming by April. For those who have pools that are being heated year-round, you can pretty much pick and choose when you want. We're going to start on Monday. We're going to renovate a pool. It's about 2,800 square feet of pool. It's about 22 years old. And we're going to go in there. It's 12 feet deep. We're going to go in there, and it's got massive cracks in the floor. I think there's 400 or 500 feet of cracks in the
But
floor.
you say 22 years old, but and I said to myself, oh my goodness, but there was such a building boom in Florida in the 70s and 80s. Those pools are 20 and 30 years old.
Yeah. Hey, you know
Hadn't
what?
thought of that.
You know what? Think about this. I still renovate pools that have marshite in them. Marshite. Look, before they took asbestos out of marshite in 92, I think it was a federal law that pulled that out. Marshite got soft. Here was a warranty on marshite. Open the bag, Rob, that's your warranty.
That's it.
That's it. Now, I'll put a 1-year labor warranty on it, but I'm putting nothing on the material because they took the hardener out and they come out with a product called Rhino Coat years ago. I'm not sure how well that went. They did fiberglass liners in pools and with lifetime warranties on it. And I can give you I even told you about the story about my aunt that put it in her pool and it just caused it was a disaster trying to take it out. It comes right out, by the way, but what a mess in the process. So do your research about putting finishes. Now we have our mini Aqua Pearl by Magic Marshite they make our own products right here. They're doing a product comparable to, let's do it this way, brand name PebbleTech. Q-tip's a brand name, but we all call a cotton swab a Q-tip. We all call a tissue a Kleenex. Those are brand names, but we all refer to that particular product. We want PebbleTech. Well, it's a stone finish. It's a product name.
Mm-hmm.
But Magic Technologies has Aqua Pearl. We have 11 promotional colors that we offer for a very, very reduced value, lifetime warranty, and it's stone. The good Lord took millions of years to make this product. It's not going to fail, and I promise you, we will not put a 1-year warranty on that interior finish. We won't do that. We're here. We're here for you. I mean, we do a lot of stain cleanups in pools. We're not doing it right now, Rob, because the water. Don't try to give up too many hints. The water's below 65 degrees, so it's really not doing a very good job. So we're holding off on doing stain removals. I think my pool on Saturday. On Wednesday was 47 degrees. I was not putting my arm in the pool to test the water.
No way.
But I have a remote system, Rob. It tells me how much chlorine's in my pool. I'm on a millivolt type system because I have a pH injector, so I know what my millivolts are. I know what the resistance in the water is versus my chlorine value, and I know the pH in my pool is 7.4. I know that for sure. My salt level was at 3,000, my water temperature was at 47, and my chlorine generator was not working because my temperature was below 59 degrees. So it goes into protect mode. So the cool thing about all my Gold Line and Hayward equipment is it's telling you what you want to know. So even though it's not making chlorine, I still get readings and results of what it's doing. So that's really amazing. And we're going to go into our trade show in February where they're going to unveil some really, really cool stuff. So on that following Saturday, Rob, we're going to talk about the new things that are out in the market for 2011 and where we're looking at for 2012. I can kind of give you an idea of some of the technology that's coming out for 2012. We're going to be looking at voice activation equipment. Yeah. We're not going to be looking at the boring screen that gives me digital text. We're going to be looking at some pretty cool background pictures, or maybe some pictures in the background and with your pool your pool information on it. Some really cool stuff coming up, and then maybe some more chemical injections. So we're getting pretty close to just filling those vats up and walking away for a month or so.
Now, that's cool.
Now, we also have the programs going to kind of warn you that we can put into your equipment that's going to tell you that you need to add this or that or make an adjustment to your pool, real-time pool information that's available on your phone or your computer.
So you don't have to take and draw a good jar of water and go running down to the pool place on the state road.
No.
You do it at home.
Saving $3 a gallon for gas, Rob. Think about that. Do it right in your backyard.
Did you hear that clown the other day from Shell?
$5
Say
a gallon.
$5 by next year.
Okay, we're going to get on energy real quick. We have to have a comprehensive energy plan. This administration is not doing us any justice. We are 20 years behind where we should be. We have all the resources right here in this country, including green technology, i.e. solar. We got the solar-powered pool pumps. Remember, we had Greg
the guy
in here.
was on here.
Yeah, Greg, we got solar-powered pool pumps. We're going to have solar-powered pool lights.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. We're also going to have solar-powered time clocks. We already have solar-powered hot water heater. We already have PVs on the roof. Now they're making shingles with PV in them. So the technology's there. We just need to get it to where it's economical and everybody has it. If we invested, we took the $700 billion a year that we send overseas, that's billion, that's almost $750 billion. I still can't think. I think the next word.
But they only think in trillions now, Washington. They're not thinking billions anymore.
The next word we don't, I think it's gazillion, by the way. What's the new word, Nick? Do we have a new word above trillion? I think it's
gazillion.
I think it's gazillion. So once we get to gazillion,
quadrillion, I think it is.
Just think about if we took $700 billion and put it back in this country, we wouldn't be having the problems we have today.
You know, you talk about that, and this is way off the subject, but it's probably going to lend itself to the paint you put in the pool one of these days. But they've already got in England, they've already got an LED paint that you paint your walls with. It's a wall covering. It's not a paint, but it goes on like paint, but it's a wall covering that actually plugs into the house current. That way there are no more lights in the houses that they're building.
Amazing.
The wall lights up with LED brightness to give you, maybe your wife says this week, I want a blue wall. All you do is change it in the computer, and it's burning up no electricity compared to what electric lights do. Why don't we have that in the U.S.?
I don't know.
Because
we want to spend money out of this country. I don't get it. You know, the thing about the LED wall paint, if you really want to get past for everything, make it pink. Just tone it down to pink. Everybody calms down.
Everybody would calm down.
Yeah, we'd have a wonderful world. But it's here, Rob.
Could you imagine doing your pool surface that way and
Rob,
the pool just changing colors all the time?
Rob, we don't want to give away all our secrets.
Well,
yet.
that's true.
We do have fluorescents that we put in finishes, by the way. Fluorescents that we put in our finishes are out there. We do fiber stars. We do fiber technology in the bottom of the floor to kind of give you that. You pick a constellation, we'll put it in your floor. We do it in LED too, by the way. But fiber optics is pretty cool, by the way.
And see, the LEDs, just like we all found out with our Christmas lights this year, man, you put in LEDs, you're not even moving your power wheel out there on the meter.
Yeah, I can connect up to 83 strands. But let me tell you, I'm a little disappointed about some of the lights. This is my second year.
The color's not true.
Well, the color's not true, but I'm not kind of okay with a little bit. But I'm not happy with it is I lost a lot of my lights from last year. You know, I'd have a light burn out here and there. Let me tell you, the big bulbs, the big C9s, you try to pull those bulbs out or pull the globes off to pull the bulb out, your thumbs hurt after a while. So I'm not real happy with the durability of the new LED Christmas lights. I'm not happy. I've got about 50,000 on my house. I'm probably 30,000 LED, 20,000 old technology.
Wow.
But I'm not real happy because I spend too much time repairing them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's technology, but it's coming along. 5:50, we're coming back after a break. 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. The splashing could be in the pool. Today would have been a great day. Yesterday, even better to be in a pool, but you weren't in your pool, were you? Because you don't heat it. But you got to give it Tony on that. Pool Fanatics right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
In this city, conservatism is heard.
Conservatism is the answer to their political problems.
News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
What could make the holidays even happier? How about the jingle jangle of a new set of keys from Honda? Happy Honda Days are here again, and your Honda dealer is doing everything short of making it snow to help spread some holiday cheer. Right now, get great year-end deals on all Honda vehicles, like the Accord. It's been awarded Car and Driver's 10 Best a record 24 times. And be sure to check out the reliable Civic, the #1 selling small car in America. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get the gift of 0.9% APR on select new Accord and Civic models. So come in today or go to shophonda.com to build and price your ultimate holiday gift. Now, during Happy Honda Days.
Based on Arl Polk & Company, U.S. retail registration, small car segment, January 2008 through August 2010. See dealer for financing details.
Do thieves know you're not at home right now? If they do, you can rest easier when you know your valuables are secured in a Liberty Safe. Liberty Safes are America's best-selling brand and can pay for themselves by keeping your valuables from being stolen. And this weekend, during the Florida Gun and Knife Show at the Central Florida Fairgrounds, Picket Weaponry will have all Liberty Safes on sale. You'll save hundreds of dollars on all models, and we'll have the widest selection of Liberty Safes on hand. What's more, during the show, we'll provide you with free delivery and installation with every Liberty Safe purchase. And Liberty Safes come with lifetime warranties, so you know you're buying the very best quality safe available. You know you need one. You've been waiting to get one. And now is the best time to buy during the Florida Gun and Knife Show at the Central Florida Fairgrounds this weekend. Saturday 9 to 5 and 10 to 5 Sunday. Don't let thieves steal your hard-earned valuables. Don't miss the Liberty Safe sale during the Florida Gun and Knife Show at the Central Florida Fairgrounds this weekend. See you there.
Hey, would you drink your pool water? Sure, it's a crazy question, but the answer could be yes if you have the patented, amazing ionization system from Clearwater Technologies in your home or community pool. It's true. Pools that use the Clearwater ionization system sparkle with a water quality that exceeds the EPA standards for drinking water. Oh, and the benefits don't stop there. There's no need for chlorine in your pool ever again. That's right. No more allergic reactions, no harmful chemicals that can be absorbed into your skin. Oh, and here's the best part, more money in your pocket. Log on to poolschlorinefree.com and find out how your pool can become a mineral bath with copper and silver ions naturally. That website again is poolschlorinefree.com. That's poolschlorinefree.com. And kiss chlorine goodbye forever.
Musicians, the best thing about the holidays just may be the leftovers at Guitar Center. It's Guitar Center's clearance event. Juicy, tempting discounts on overstocked inventory with price drops to satisfy your craving for saving. Succulent savings on demos, closeouts, warehouse finds, and more. All tagged and priced to move. First come, first served deals on surplus gear from top brands like Fender, Marshall, Line 6, Pearl, Yamaha, and more. Guitar Center's clearance kicks off now. Save huge while supplies last. Open New Year's Day.
Traffic on AM 580 WDBO will get you there and back again, safe and sound. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
We are back, and it is the Pool Fanatics right here every Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. We get together and we talk about pools and keeping your pool sparkling clean and beautiful and ready to play in. And I know that after this, especially after last winter, but this winter is shaping up to be pretty much the same, that there's going to be a lot of people that want to heat their pools. Tony, what's the procedure? What's the time? If somebody still says, you know, there's been some great days. You know, we had like 7 cold days, and then we had 3 nice days in a row. Looks like we got a couple more in the hopper. So if somebody wants to get their pool heated now, how much time does it take?
Okay, let's do this. This is a great question because a month ago I took a gas heater out and I put in a heat pump. And the guy was heating his pool with a gas heater, 400,000 BTU, by the way.
Wow.
And I put in a 116,000 BTU heat pump, which is about 3.5 times smaller in BTUs, but more efficient. So we can actually do the conversion. So he says, Tony, I want to be able to heat my pool to 78 degrees through the winter. And I said, it's very possible with the exception of when we get days where the ambient temperature is below about 50 degrees, these heat pumps won't fire up. Neither will your gas heater in most cases. They won't fire up. So if I could heat your pool in 8 hours with a gas heater, it's going to take about 3 days to heat it with a heat pump. But it's going to be 6 times cheaper. Now, with solar, you want to make sure that solar only runs during the day. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, and I'm pretty sure solar companies are going to tell you the same thing. You're not going to do very well heating your pool in January. But when's the best time to buy heat? In the summer.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have some specials coming up in January to get you to look at buying solar for your pool so your pool is used. Rob, you don't want to have that boat that you can't use in the winter. You want to have the pool that's in the backyard. Now, I still entertain in my backyard during the holidays, during the winter. It's a great place. Now, look, there's a few days that you can't be outside in the morning. A couple days last week, I didn't read the paper outside. But I did today and yesterday. I enjoyed the weather outside. I enjoy being outside in the evening as well.
Well, like you say, you're not always in the water, but it is the environment. It's the ambiance.
Love it.
That a pool in your backyard, a water feature, a spa adds to it.
Yeah.
And nothing more romantic and nicer on a cold night than a spa.
Let me tell you, there is nothing better than sitting in a spa when it's 40 degrees outside and your spa's 104 and you got 20 minutes of bacon in that nice hot tub and you come out of there and you're steaming. Nothing like the refreshing feeling of that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I've done it for years. It feels wonderful. So having that in the backyard and having the ability to have that heated up when you want it is another nice thing. Now, and I'm also a Spa Crest dealer. So we do portables. We call them portable, by the way. They're not portable. They weigh 1,000 pounds. We just installed one. No, check us out. We just installed one on December 23rd with a TV in it.
God.
And they mounted the TV on the wrong side. They don't tell you when they're going to mount it. We went back, we're going to mount it. I had to disassemble part of the spa, move the brackets around, move the TV, so when they're in the pool, this is a Spa Crest spa, they can watch the TV. This is a waterproof TV, DVD player with a Bose surround sound system that pops up and down. So I work, that's some great vendor suppliers I do business with.
Good Lord.
So, you got to think about when you want to use the pool, what kind of heat you have, what the weather conditions are, and what it's going to do for you. So thinking about, it's like renovating your pool. When do you want it done? New pool, when do you want it done? Back your time frame up. So we're going to be very busy this year. And you can reach us at OrlandoLuxuryPools.com. 407-282-4911. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I have 3 specials. You must mention that. You found us on those 2 locations. Remember, amazing things can happen in your backyard. That means your backyard too, Rob.
There you go. My backyard's only about 8 feet. But I tell you what, you've got to see the pictures that you can see on that website, because you're going to see swimming pools, water features, and you are going to be